Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. I am coming to you with a new crazy mad idea in my head because as we all as scrappers, we have so much stuff and then we buy and then we buy some more and then we just bury it. And we're like, especially when you organize, you start finding stuff and like, oh yeah, I didn't remember I had that. The best part of shopping is shopping in your own stash. So as I've been reorganizing the crafting corner, I'm finding the same thing. So I'm realizing I have stuff. So I want to start using some of this stuff that's stuck in stored in my bins. So I decided to pull these out because it's still winter. And these are two embossing folders that I got last year during one of the HSN craft days. I can't remember what month it was, but there's a video on it. When I busted these open, I did an unboxing, so it's there. But I decided it's still winter, so we're going to do a couple of cards, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. I mean, here they have this embossed one. I'm doing it off the beaten path, off colors and everything, just to show you that you can do these cards and not, or any card, and not use traditional colors or techniques and just do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to give me a minute and I'm going to grab my paper and everything and I'm going to come back here where the madness starts. All right, hang on. Okay, I'm back. And always, it took me longer to get back here than I thought because it never fails. I know where everything is until I need it. And then I have to go find it. And it's like, ugh, it's always a production. So I went ahead and I pulled my embossing folders out of these so we can toss those aside. But interesting point I wanted to say. I don't know if anybody knows this or has seen it. It's not like a trade secret. But on these embossing folders, they came mounted on these plastics. And it's as though our stamps, they usually have a double cover, so you can usually get rid of one. I don't. I tend on my stamps, I keep them double covered, and then what I do is here, let me show you on, let me show you on this one. I'm pretty sure I did it. On this stamp, is I keep the cover, and then I use packing tape so that it is a flap. So that way you can keep it together and it protects them. So on stamps, that's what I do, and I just use packing tape. But on embossing folders, there's no flipping reason why you keep those. So instead, you know what these are? Once I take the tape off, they're heavy duty. They are wonderful acrylics for shaker cards. So just keep that in mind, guys. Do not throw away your pieces, all these mounting pieces. Save them for shakers, okay? All right, that was your public service announcement. We are done. Okay, so I pulled out both of these. I also went digging. And this is, so I said, remember, this is what did Myra find Wednesday. So Myra found some old Spellbinders. I have had these for quite a few years. I mean, you can tell I bought them on clearance at an expo. So I'm going to use these, and then we're going to go back to these two stamps, which are also from when I bought the glittering snowflakes back last year. And these I have used them remarkably more than I thought I was going to, interestingly enough. I really thought, I'm like, I don't know why I'm buying this. It's just pretty and I have to have it. No, I've used them a lot. So it's like, wow, it's even better when you actually use something a lot that you buy. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and emboss our papers. And then we're going to die cut. So let me grab my Big Shot. Sorry. It's right here. It's in my cart right next to me. So we're back to the Big Shot because for embossing folders, it's my favorite machine to use. I don't try to bother finagling the my Gemini. I will one day sit here and really, really take the time to do it, but I haven't felt like it lately. I know that it will work with my Big Shot, so what the heck. It's here. I've had it Old Faithful for a very long time. So we're going to go with both. We're going to do one of each, and this time I am going to do I'm going to go ahead and spritz my paper to get a better impression. So all I'm going to do is give it just a quick spritz, not a lot. You can see it dampened it enough that it warped it. It warped. And there we go. So I want it side to rest. So I'm going to center it. It takes a little, there's a little tiny bit of centering on this, I noticed, because there's two flakes on the side. They're on the edge that come on the edge, reeling. And then there we go. So it is, hey, I got it on the first try. Not bad, because I noticed I looked at that. I'm like, oh, those are awful close to the edge. And then I'm just going to run it through. Whee! And we'll go forward. And then we're going to come backwards just to give it a good impression. There we go. And let's take a look. Let's see what I did. Isn't that purty? We'll do it this way, because this is my evil plan. I'm going to do it this way. So that came out really sharp, really crisp, and it practically dried it already. It still feels a tiny bit damp, but by the time we're done doing all that stuff, it'll be dry and we won't care. Now this one will be interesting. I should have tried to test it before because this is a cut and emboss. So it does both. It's going to cut and emboss my paper. So, and I haven't used either one of these. I just barely busted them out and broke them out for this. So use my next. So here, I think I told you guys I was going to use a different color paper, craft paper, in case you hadn't noticed. And then I cut my card bases, same thing, 5x7 for both my card bases out of the same paper. This is Basil Craft that I had stashed. And this, I cut 3/8 of an inch smaller on two sides. So that makes it 4 13/16 by 6 13/16. Not quite the 5x7, just a little bit on the inside, so it has a little tiny bit of framing. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to spritz it. Whoops, I'm going to do the same one. Although I probably didn't need to on this. I didn't do it overall, so we're going to find out if this doesn't backfire on me. We're about to find out. If not, well, I have more paper, so I can cut another one. So let me take a look, because I want this pretty centered. So it looks like a little, like a millimeter wonky. And that's because I'm just taking too much time. Because I can always straighten it out by, cutting it. I can always cut it a little bit smaller. Right? Okay, I think that looks good. Now, see, oh, heck. We're going to leave it at that. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. I have to listen to my own advice. Okay, I'll flip it. I don't know if it makes a difference. And let's see if it runs through, because that's the one thing I haven't done is I think a cutting and embossing die. Oh yeah, it's going to go through. It's not happy. It's a little bit tougher than the other one was. There we go. And then I'm going to run it back just because I want the embossing portion, which is really, I think the only thing it's embossing is the word winter. So let's see. Let's see what we got. What madness we have here. Oh, nice. So I just have to we're going to have to poke these little pieces out. Uh-oh. Okay, cut well. Now see, here's where I say there's a potential for backfire. Let's see what's going to pop out nicely and what's going to need some coaxing. Hang on, let me get a pokey tool. I have 7 zillion pokey tools around here, and I can, until I need them. So let's see what's going to happen here, guys. These obviously are going to come out. I'm fairly confident the circles are going to come out. Oh boy, there we go. It might need a little coaxing. I'm trying not to see if I can get them to come out nicely. So one, because I don't want to tear the paper, but maybe we can reuse them. Okay, we're going to see. We might have to rerun this, or I might be doing another one. Who would have thought that I might have to shim this? I don't think I can. I don't even know if I want to try to shim this. Okay, this one is coming out almost completely with a little coaxing. Yeah. So that one needed a little coaxing. But let me see how my scrolls here. What's going to come out nicely? This one's going to come out. It just needs a little coaxing. Careful, tender coaxing. Yeah, that one came out. See, and that's the little bit of a, well, I won't use the word I want to use. It ends in shoot, but it's just the luck of the draw. And again, this is the first time I've used this, and this time it's not like I usually do. I'll tend to do a test card before I come on camera with you guys to make sure everything's going to work. Obviously, I didn't do it on this time because here we have a bit of a problem. So, oh, that one popped right out. So, which means I have to try. Let me see if I can get this one. This one's going to come out. Yeah, this is going to come out. Obviously, it's going to be, it's going to tear a little bit on the back, but that's okay. I don't care if it tears on the back. You can't see it. Now, these are going to be the problem children. So, okay, rather than sit here spend time, give me a few minutes. I'm going to go off camera and get these out. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I fixed it. Crisis averted. The crowd goes wild. Yay! what I ended up doing, I was able to coax the rest of the pieces out, no problem. This guy wasn't even cut all the way through. I saw it when I looked at the back, I'm like, oof. So I had to rerun it, which is always a panic factor for me, because if you don't line it up perfectly, it all goes to pot. But what helped a lot is because this is a cut, it just flipped right into space. I went ahead, I don't know why, I actually did not need to dampen it, but I did anyway because I'm an idiot. I don't know, or goof or whatever. But I was able to rescue it. I have saved all these pieces because I think I'm going to try to incorporate them. I don't think of the inside, but I'm going to try to probably decorate the inside of the cards with those pieces. So let's figure that out. But meanwhile, anyway, I'm ready to do my next step, which is what I want to do is I'm going to go over these and buff out like the winner, and then all of this stuff here on this one really lightly. So I'm pulling out my white ink, which I thought I had grabbed. Obviously, I had not. Okay, so this I keep handy. I keep handy my whipped cream, just because I use it for white. Oh, it's my best white. It's my favorite white right now. So I'm going to just, not too much, but load it up a bit. I can always test it back here. Yeah, I want to be light. I'd rather go over this puppy 7 million times. And because you can always fix light to, to strengthen it. But if you go in too heavy, that's it. You're done. It's over. Game over. But I want to do is just go over the top really light. So it takes a light hand. And I'm talking like I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I've seen it on YouTube enough that I get the idea. So this is my maiden voyage on trying to do this. You guys are with me, witnessing. I am at this part, a white, whatever you call this, virgin, for lack of a better term. This is my first time.
Green.
There's the peanut gallery. Climbing in. But yeah, see, that's all I want to do is to bring it out. So, and some paces obviously are catching the ink better than others. And I'm trying to get my feel for how hard, how much I can press down. But again, it's like I said, better not enough and keep coming back in. Because I just want to get the part that's, the embossed part. I want to leave the background still in its, with the craft color. And again, this is not a totally non-traditional kind of a color. But, oh, you know what? I'm still catching it. If you guys see, I am still catching some of the background, but not very much. So we're just going to leave it that way. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to go cry and redo this page, because you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. And number 2, it is the beauty of a handcrafted item. Whoever ends up ultimately getting this card will never know that that's not what I intended. So we're just, it'll look like a snurfurly, a snow flurry. There's a peanut gallery laughing at me too, mocking me. Oh. But so it actually, in the grand scheme of things, it actually works. So I'm not unhappy. So it looks very cool. And I did something like this once in a card class at Expo years ago, but it was a die cut out, and we just added this white, to the top, just over it, because it was die cut out. So this is the first time I do it to an embossed area, to a raised area. I want to darken this area right here a little bit more. So again, I'm getting my feel for, and not darken actually, but lighten it. So this is a little time consuming, and for that I apologize, but I want you to see this. Okay, and here's another idea, because I'm having trouble holding it, because I'm getting ink on my fingers, but I don't want to leave fingerprints. So I'm making sure. This is a trick that was demonstrated. I learned watching another YouTuber, Ryan Swift, who is Glitter Grunge Greetings. He uses the lid to hold the paper down. And that lid, so that way you don't get your fingers, and you're not, because you tend to get, when you're inking, you tend to get the ink on your fingers. You just can't help it. And this keeps you from then transferring it onto your paper. And it's a genius. It's absolutely sheer genius, because it is working. It is allowing me to go through here and grab and hold this down while I ink. So it's just, I think I'm about done. It doesn't have to be like really crazy white. I just want to have that. I just want it to stand out. I want all of these portions to stand out. And it's like, I swear it's lighter, but you know what happens is the ink dries. It is drying, so then it comes back. So I have to keep reapplying ink to get it as white as I want it. So we'll see, because I may have to come back and do it some more after we're done. So we will see. But I think I'm going to call it good, or otherwise we'll be here all night watching me do this. And I am fully capable of that, for I am nothing if not AR. Okay, let me grab this little snowflake right over here, because now I'm doing the perfection thing. I need to stop that. Okay, good enough. I'm going to call that good. So now I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the same thing to the word winter. I want to do the same thing to this one. So I'm going to load it up. And then this is a little bit hard, so yeah, I may have to risk it. Ooh, but that gives me an idea. Myra got an idea. That scrapper had another mad moment. Let's see, but we're going to go again over the letters and see. Now I ran into trouble there. You can see that? I have the edge there. That does not make me happy. But, oh well. What am I going to do now? We're back to that. No, I'm not going to cry over errant ink. We'll figure it out. What we do to try to camouflage it. Maybe I'll put a snowflake there. Right? It's an old toe painting trick. You made a mistake. Oh, we'll put a flower there. Rather than, you know, go drive yourself nuts trying to repaint the area. That was the other trick. Forward. Here, it's embellishment. You know, that's the scrapbooking version of that. But see, now I'm making the winter just stand out. So I'm almost practically, because the letters are a little bit thicker, so it allows me literally to dab some of these areas to get them lighter, so that the white areas stand out against the craft background. So he'll just take care of that. So I'm sorry, I probably should have just done this one and fast forward and not taken the time out here. So this might make the video longer. I do apologize for that. I hope you guys think it's worth it, though, to hang out with me here as I run at the mouth, yakking. Okay, that one I think is good. I'm just literally going to the bottom because I'm allowing the paper itself to pick up some of the white. So I'm going and hitting a little bit hard so that there's a little bit of that along the edge, along the white. Now, when I say like, uh-oh, I have a thought. My thought is, I'm going to, you know how we distress it? We usually distress dark. I'm going to distress light and see if I don't regret that decision. What the heck, right? What have I got to lose? I'm just going to go through and just go around the edges. I don't think I'm going to do it on the other card, but I'm definitely going to do it on this one because I think it lends itself more than this other base. Although, I don't know. I may go through and do both. Now that I think about it, what the heck? This is like creativity on the fly. Remember what I said about me and creativity on the fly, right? It could either be, oh yeah, that was a great idea, or it can just be an absolute disaster. So, you know, either one thing or the other. It's either great or a catastrophe. But yeah, and I'm not the best at doing this, really. I am not. But there we go. Now it's doing what I want it to do. I'm having to hit it a little bit harder because this paper is like flimsy. I don't want to hold the paper too stiffly because I'm afraid of leaving, you know, snowy fingerprints on it. But there we go. I like that. And even if I don't like it, I'm not telling you that. I'm just going to keep it and say, yay! But I'm going to go ahead and do that to this one too. And just go around all the edges and just give it that. Because you know what it'll do? Because since the layers match, it's, you know, putting the same color layer on top of another, what it's going to do is separate it. It's going to make this layer stand out from my card base. Because there's very little. I left very little space between. There's like maybe an eighth. I don't even think that. A little over a 16th of an inch between the edge. So this will make it, you know, pop out a little bit. So, yep, that's my official story. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But we'll just do this real quickly. See, this one went faster. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm chattering, so I'm not, you know, paying attention and angsting over it. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. Now we are at this point. So now what am I going to do? Okay, for this card, I have to do a treatment a little bit differently because if you, let me show you. If I put this down, well, there. Well, wahoo, there's not much of a difference. So what I need to do in these spaces is I'm going to go in and hit it thick with the whipped cream. I'm going to blend in the whipped cream in the areas where I know it's going to show up behind the card. So I'm going to try to do this, although I think I can get away with essentially not getting an, I don't think it'll, when I blend it in, let me move that over here, to where it'll show the line, you know what I'm talking, the edge. And what I really need to do is bust out, I bought some, I have some of the scrapbook.com ones, and I just need to use them. Because they're a rounded dome, and they supposedly keep you from getting that edge that sometimes you get with these, this mini distress solvers, or distress tools. But see, what I'm doing is now, look, hopefully you can see that. Now we can see the other part. We can see it, there's a contrast there between one and the other. So now I have to come down and do it on the bottom half. And of course, the thicker I lay it on, it's like a compliment, the better it shows up, I think. I don't know. But I'm going to try to do this quickly so I'm not chewing up a lot of your guys' time, or if not, feel free to fast forward me in my nonsense. But we will get through this real quick. And do that. I just want to make it as deep. So I don't know why I'm not picking up more. I just need to pick up scads of ink. This is a pad that eventually, I'm waiting to see when, because I've had this pad for quite a while. I was, I need to get a re-inker, but I actually have a second pad, so. But I probably should get, because it truly, truly is my favorite white right now. It's the one I can pretty much stamp with, and it shows up. And you guys know it's really hard to get a white to show up. So, there we go. I think that's good enough. Let's see. Is that good enough? Looks good enough to me. Yeah. I like it. Except I did something. See, here's what happens. You have to be paying attention. I totally goofed. I've taken it to the edge on both sides, and there is nothing I can do about it. Ha! Joke's on me. Unless I cut little strips of paper. No. Because my only other option is to cut another panel. There it is. It just is. I caught the mistake, and hopefully nobody else is going to notice. Or the whole idea. Ah! Phooey! Oh, well. I'm going to live with it. But he's giggling. I hear him over there. He's risking his life now. He doesn't know this. There you go. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna see. So now you see, if you try to do this technique, pay attention, people, and don't talk while you're working. That's what, this is when these things go bad on me. Because really, I swear to Pete, what I want to do is cut a panel and just frame it. In fact, this is going to bother the crud out of me until I do. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to repair this. And then I'll put a title in. You know, I'll put a title in and explain what I did. But that will allow me. And see, I just put washi in. I'm going to redo it. And the heck with it. And then we'll figure out what I do with that card.
You never have too many cards.
Right? Well, this is true. But I'll fast forward this, you know, in seconds. And they'll get music, so I'll get to use my music. I'll get to figure out how to put a title track. I have 2 days to get this done. It's not like I'm not, this is not going to go live until Wednesday.
Oh, okay. A little bit of editing.
Mm-hmm. But now I know if I do this again, this is what we do. Normally, it's intended to be just put on a different color paper. Usually, what you should be using is a colored background. what I am doing is just really just, you know, way a bit out there.
What is this whipped cream you keep talking about?
It's the color white I'm using.
Oh, okay.
It's FSJ ink. It's, of course, you know, you don't say FSJ in Nikki's presence for the most part, because this is the company that burned Richard.
Oh,
But
okay.
this is where he came from. But I have to admit, these inks are pretty good.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them, and whipped cream is flat out my favorite white right now. So I kind of have to, and Nikki knows, you know, she doesn't hold it against me. You know, she really does. She says, no, Mara, you do what you need to do. Because she like won't deal with Spellbinders on any shape, way, or form for the same reason, because Spellbinders is the one that screwed Richard.
Just screwed him over.
It's the parent company.
I remember hearing
All this rigmarole. Okay, I need to wash my hands because I got ink all over my fingers. For those of you who hung out to see what is Myra going to do to fix this, obviously you saw, I just went ahead and just grabbed another panel that I didn't realize. I'd forgotten that I'd actually cut 3. So I had the extra panel. But as I was working on it, a thought occurred to me. And I'm going to come at you with the four most dangerous words in crafting. I have an idea. So we're going to, what I want to do is this has already started to dry, so I'm going to make it wet. I'm going to emboss this, and I've got some really cool sparkly snowflake tinsel. So I have an idea. If I want it, this will make it even show up more if I make it not only white, but sparkly too. So I'm going to just add one more layer so that I can re-wet this ink up so that the embossing powder, and what I'll probably do is do one section at a time. That way I don't risk both of them drying out. So I'm just going to do this one first. And oh, look, a cat here. I swear, it's amazing. There it is. It's like, really? And it's really determined. Come on, my pretty. Let's go. Move. So now we're going to spend 3 hours on camera trying to remove the cat hair. There we go. I'm like, this is nothing. I once did a swap, and I did a bunch of shaker cards, and as I was done and packing them up to ship us for the card swap for Expo, I realized I spotted in one of the cards that there was a cat here inside the shaker. You guys all know just the mere thought of having to reopen a shaker and not have all the shaker bits fall out. It's like, I almost cried. I thought it was going to be easier to re-rake another card than to deal with that. I did, ultimately. But yeah, so that's just something. If you have cats, we all know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this, but I'm also going to try to be strategic. Let's see if I can make this, even if I can, I'm going to pile it. So let me have this as a template, because I want there to be a lot of glitter, hopefully, in the areas where there's snowflakes. If you know, so that, it's like waves. It's just like, okay, so I don't know if I can get the glitter to do what I want it to do. I'm going to tap it down and then see what sticks. Well, it could be, because I want there be more glitter. Okay, so it's going to fall first, so I'm going to press it down, and then I want to definitely see if I can get more glittery bits right here. Or these snowflakes, and then these 2 snowflakes over here. Let me see if I can get more glitter to stick. Just because I somehow think that I can control glitter. No. It's interesting that the most glitter is in the spots that I don't need it to be. But okay, we're going to make it work. I'm not going to go crazy over this. So let me now grab my heat tool, my Milwaukee, which I already heated up a bit, so hopefully this will go fast. And we'll get this. I know no matter what, it's going to brighten this up, which I want as well. Because it'll just make the white area show up. And maybe it's not worth adding the glitter to this project, to this. Might be a great idea, just the wrong project. But we'll see. What the heck, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay. I think we're all dry. So there we have that. So let's take a peek. Let's see what it looks like behind. Okay, hopefully you guys can see it. There is some sparkle. I see a little bit of sparkle in the background, so it was not all for naught. I mean, it just is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same here. Add the ink back and really go thick in the areas. I mean, I have to do it overall to moisten it up, but I'm going to go back in and really lay it on thick where I have to, where the snowflakes are in the die cut, my die cut embossed panel. So we'll see. There we go. There you go. Okay, now let me just really, because I know it's over here on the edge. I'm just going to stamp it down is what I'm going to do. Because I'm hoping that will get... We'll see, because I don't know which is heavier, if it's the embossing powder or the glitter that's heavier. I was hoping it would be the glitter. Okay, so let me take care of that. What I'm going to do real quick is pour the powder I already used back in here real quick. Where is my little brush? Okay, I'm going to use my brush here. I love this tray. This one in particular, I'm in love with it because it's just very convenient. And you just pour it back into the bottle very quickly, very neatly. It's so cute because it has a plug. I don't know where I put it, but it has a plug. And this time I managed to remember to remove the plug before I put embossing powder in it. The last time it was like, in trying to pull it out, I catapulted embossing powder all over creation. Let me just re-moisten that because this might be the moment where I say more is actually better. I don't know. It might be just more. Now, let's come back in here. Let's add our embossing powder. Now, let's see. Let's see if I can get... I'm trying to get the glitter. I don't know if this does me any good. But I'm trying to get the glitter to come up first. So we'll see. And then just for good measure, I'm going to tamp it down. Again, I don't know if that's going to do me any good either. Maybe a little bit more than the last time. Let's see. I don't know. Like I said, only I think that I can manipulate. Well, that actually did work there. So let's try here. See if I can shake it around. I can get the glitter to drop down first. That's what I really want. Yeah, no, that one didn't work so well, but you know what? It is. I got her done. Let's get her done. Okay, now let's get this panel done too. Where's my... And let's just get this done. I know, and sometimes embossing is like watching a pot boil. It'll take forever. But then the heat tool's already hot, so it's like this one here that I love. I'm gonna get that done really quick. I mean, really, it's not that long. I mean, it's seconds. I think we've maybe taken 30 seconds to do this. Okay, let me try not to cook my fingers. It is hot. I think I got it. It looks like I got all areas, maybe a little bit here. There we go. Okie dokie. So there is that. Where is my winter panel? So I think we can see it. You can see at least we've got some sparkly bits through the outside. You can't see it, so there's a part of me that wants to try to do this to the word winter, but I think I should quit while I'm ahead. What do you guys think? I don't know, because there's not much here I can embellish. Let's see. After all this time, what's the worst that can happen is I'm going to have to go off camera and do another panel. So let me make it wet and see what I can get to stick. If I can get embossing powder to stick to this. If I completely lost my mind, probably. I am mad after all, remember. I am the mad scrapper. So this is like totally, this is way out of my comfort zone of flying by the seat of my pants, of my jeans. But we're going to see. I really am jazzed about trying this. So you guys are going to go on this adventure with me. Let me move this over before I knock the whole bottle of glitter on this. And you know what? I should have hit this with my Stamp Buddy first, but you know what? I'm not going to care. If it's some of it sticks to the background, I think it's going to be kind of cool looking. What do you think? And if not, I'm going to say I thought it was going to look cool looking, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm really trying to get this down on it. I know, this is insane. I don't know what I'm thinking in doing this, but I think it's going to look really, really cool. So we'll see. If not, here, we invented a new technique. It would be a Mad Scrapper original. I'm sure somebody else has done this. I don't know why I'm thinking these crazy mad thoughts. Okay, let's just grab here. I'm kind of looking in the reflection of my light to see where I see. As long as I see the ink wet, you know, it's shiny, that tells me there's wet ink there. And that's what I want. I want it to be wet ink on all of the letters. And there is some wet ink in the background, so this might slightly backfire on me. But I must be brave. We will see what happens. Because I can always take my brush. I'm going to grab my other one, my finer one too. Because I can always go in with my brush and pull some of it off if I see it being too thick. So this is the creative part of all of this. You know, I already have the backup plan to my mad. It was my last minute crazy idea. Mad machinations. There we go. Okay. Now let's do this. Let's go back in and see what happens when I start pouring this down on here. Okay. Okay, there's a heck of a lot more there than I want there to be. This might have not been my most genius idea. But I'm brushing off as much of this as I can get off. Yeah, I should have Stamp Buddied this first. But we're going to see. If I get most of it, it doesn't have to be 100% off, but if I get most of it off, I'll be happy. I could always, like, literally hand apply the tip of my finger embossing powder on the areas where I want it to be. And maybe add a little bit more shininess. So we'll see. This is complete insanity. I don't know what possessed me to do this. But there we go. You know, again, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Do I have my... I don't have my watercolor brush. That's what would really help, because that has a much skinnier tip. Because of course, I have one. Don't ask me about how much I watercolor with it. That is a whole other ball of wax, my people, my peeps. I'm going to take my time and brush as much of it I can along the edges off. And there we go. Again, what's the worst that can happen? I have to die cut this layer again and do this all over again. Just trying to catch everything I can. I actually don't mind the glitter staying on the background. It's just I don't want the embossing powder to stay there. The glitter is cool. All right. It's a time. This is it. Now or never. Let's see what happens. Ugh. Cord. They should make cordless. I mean, I wish we could have a cordless embossing tool. Not very likely to happen. That's completely impractical. But it is a nice thought though, huh? Hey, it's working out. I am not unhappy with what I'm seeing happening right now. All considering. See, there's a part of my R there that got no ink. It didn't pick up at all. So guess what we're going to do? No, we're just going to hit with this. I'm going to write on the R. Because it's like really insanely obvious that it didn't get ink. Yeah, this is going to be a 3-hour video. I already see it. Peanut gallery is still going off. He doesn't understand that I know where he sleeps. I will exact my revenge. Okay. Okay, I think that's okay. Let me move this out of the way before I do blow it. And because you know about glitter, it'll never, you know, it'll be, you know, Christmas 10 years from now. And we'll still have glitter. Ah, phooey. Let me see. This is... Well, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. We've now see... I'll grab that over here. Because I missed that I picked up ink somehow on the E. Alright guys, this may or may not been my most genius idea. But we're going to live with it for right now. And see what happens when we put this all together. It's okay. You know what? It's not perfect, but it's not supposed to be either. Okay. Let's get my pound, my this. Now the question is, do I want to just lay it flat on here? There's a part of me that I think I do. This one, I'm not going to, whatchamacallit, put on foams because I want it to be against the background because that's how I think the glitter background is going to show up. But either way, this is, you know, 3/4 done. It's staying. It's staying made. I may go back and do another one and perfect this, and now that I've made mistakes, but here you go. If nothing else, I have shown you guys what not to do. In other words, don't forget to hit it with the Stamp Buddy first. Let me go there. I just want it to make sure that I want to make sure it really, because I want it, this was one of those times when I really wanted to stick down. Okay. So we'll get this one now done, because this one will finish faster. This one had less work. There. We'll stick that down. And there we have it. It looks really, really rough. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I actually really am. I mean, had I done this right, I could have masked all that area up with maybe some PBO. Masking fluid. That would have solved my problem. I got glitter all on the back of it. But, I mean, there you have it. It's not perfect. It's not a work of art, but I like the rustic look of it. So, and it is. There it is. It's like an idea that I did fly. See, this is why I don't fly by the seat of my pants on these videos. Because, you know, before I would have known and I would have perfected it. But you guys saw the pitfall, so I'm not unhappy. So let me set this aside. So, rarely do things go exactly the way I plan. And me being me, I can never leave anything well enough, or I can never leave well enough alone. That's a surprise, right? Okay, so I came back to this card. For one, I lost the videos, so this is why they're in reverse order. This was supposed to be the first card, and then the one that you just saw is supposed to have been the second card, but I put them, I thought I had transferred them and then I didn't. And thank the Lord that I back up everything. So I found it. Be that as it may, guys. I came back with this card because remember that panel that I said, oh my gosh, I messed it up. It took me a while, and I think and I thunk and I thought and I think. And I realized that it wasn't messed up. I was just dumb. I didn't see what was right in front of me. What I ended up doing, as you can see in this one, is I just went all the way around just like I did in the other card, which is why I ended up doing it to the other card. Is I just went all the way around like you saw me demo with the ink, and then I embossed it. And then with this one, I came out, I made a new panel, so I just saved you all of that, and I didn't want to mess with redoing all the videos. So I just came back and made another panel real quick. Well, kind of sort of real quick. And then the other thing I learned from the first card was not do it the way I showed you guys, which is what I'm bringing to you so you can see. I'd rather confess to pitfalls and let you guys see it, and then come back and learn from and tell you, hey, this is what I learned, because that's how we all learn. So if you guys think that, if anybody watching this thinks they're the only one that makes me think, oh God, no, I'm the queen of that. But that's how I figure things out. So with this one, I did just like I did the snowflakes. I grabbed my handy dandy Versa marker, and I did it with the brush pen, the brush nib, and I painted over the letters one at a time. I did one at a time, and then embossed them, and then hit it with the heat gun. Now, here's the thing. When you're messing with things, I don't know how I did it, how I managed it, how I touched it, but right here, you can't see it, but there's, it almost looks like an oil spot. I don't know, what I did, but it was a spot. It was there. It was like screaming, oh my gosh. So what do we do when that happens? We add an embellishment. But to not make it look odd, because when we add embellishments, you should always do them in threes. I embossed 3 of the snowflakes that came out of here, and then I splattered them here. So this is the one that covers the offending spot. These 2 are just here to fake that one out, so that you guys don't know. So only you guys and I know that there's a boo-boo there. And then I went ahead and added, because if there's sparkle is good, more sparkle is better. So I went in with the rhinestones, and in all the holes, I filled them in rhinestones, and then just the snowflakes and the scroll work, you can see the background. And it's done now. I promise. That's it. Kaput. Yish. No more. We're going to move on to something else. We're done with this card. But I did want to come back and share it real quick, guys. And we're going to let it go as that. So if this at all gave you some comic relief, or just saying, oh, let's see what Myra did today, I'm glad for it. Give me a thumbs up if I even made you smile or said, oh, hey, that's cool. And then go ahead, if you want to see more videos from me, you know the deal. Subscribe, ring the bell so you know when I come on. Other than that, guys, just take care of yourselves. Go out there and be creative. Remember, we're all a little mad here, so scrap the madness. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.